All right, let's get started. People will come in. So let's just start to focus on your breathing. Today, we're going to talk a lot about the breath. When we start off our practice, every time focusing on our breath, it starts to create a rut and a habit. And so, just like taking the position starts to create the frame of mind we're looking for. People sometimes say you should have a schedule or a routine and practice meditating at the same time every day. It's to just create that habit and to create a rut. And so our body just gets used to it. We become familiar to it, like we train ourselves. In Zazen, in our sitting meditation, they say that just assuming the position creates the correct frame of mind. So you don't have to worry about, am I doing it right? Am I in the right position? Is this happening correctly? You're in the position, you're fine. And you can start to make whatever adjustment you'd like to make your breath smooth and easy. We're just looking for a smooth rhythm of breath. Your inhale is as long as your exhale. Respiration is an object of attention that is readily available to everyone because we all breathe from the time of birth until the time of death. It's universally accessible, universally acceptable. To begin, we sit, we assume a comfortable upright posture, and we close our eyes. We turn from the outer world to the world within, and we find that the most prominent activity here is our own breathing. So we give our attention to this. And it can be as simple as just focusing your attention on your breath entering and leaving your nostrils. And this isn't necessarily a breathing exercise, it's an exercise in awareness. And our effort is not to control our breath, but to remain conscious of it, just how it naturally is, long or short or heavy or light or rough or subtle. And for as long as possible, we just fix our attention on our breathing without allowing distractions to break our chain of awareness. And when we begin to practice, we find quickly how difficult this is to not break our chain of awareness. You have thoughts and you just woke up, so maybe your dreams are still affecting you. You have me sitting here talking to you. There are all these things that pull us away from our breathing. And when we try to keep our mind fixed on it, we start to worry about the pain in our legs, or we try to suppress all of our thoughts. And all of these things jump around our memories and our plans and our hopes and our fears. And one of these catches our attention, and we follow it around, and we realize we've forgotten completely about our breathing. And so then we begin again, and then we realize that our mind has slipped away again. And it begs the question, who is in control here? It becomes clear that our mind is not under control. It reaches for a thought, it becomes bored, it reaches for another, and then another, and it jumps from one thought to another thought, from one object of attention to another object of attention. And this is just the ingrained habit of our mind. It's what it's been doing all of our lives. But we can change that mental habit, and we learn to remain with our reality. We keep our attention fixed on our breathing. When we notice it's wandered away, we patiently bring our attention back to our breathing. We fail, and we try again and again. And this is how we develop awareness of reality. When we think about breathing itself, though, it's physical, it's chemical, it's emotional, it's spiritual. Our body changes shape as we breathe in and out. Our diaphragm is this muscle that separates our abdomen from our thoracic cavity. It's this dome shape. And so when we breathe in, that dome shape flattens down towards our pelvis and it creates a vacuum and it pulls air into our lungs. And we exhale, our diaphragm relaxes back up and the air leaves our body. And when our diaphragm moves, the muscles around it move. Breathing affects our abdominal muscles, our pelvic positioning, the connection of our psoas muscles to our spine, our thoracic cavity with our heart and lungs. They expand and they contract as we fill and we empty. All of these things are tied together. Breathing itself is a physical exercise. And even in a yoga pose, there's still the motion of our breath. We can move our breath into places. We can use it to create more space in our bodies. We can use it to loosen tension. We can physically move ourselves with our breath. So as you sit here, just feeling the motion of your breathing, and maybe you can't identify your diaphragm or your abdomen or your thoracic cavities, but you just feel the motion of your breathing. You feel your body expand as you inhale and release and relax as you exhale. We breathe in this mix of oxygen and carbon dioxide and nitrogen and these other elements. And we breathe out a different mix of those materials. We take oxygen, it fuels the breakdown of our carbohydrates. We transform the air with our body. And so after we use the oxygen, we release carbon dioxide. It's a chemical process. And then our breath is emotional. When we're angry or upset or anxious, our breath can be quick and shallow. But rest, relaxation, sleep slows our breathing, it deepens our breathing. And so our mood affects our breath. And it's a two-way street. Our breath affects our mood. When we're upset, we can consciously slow down our breath. We can trigger a different response from our nervous system. We can calm ourselves down with our breathing. It is emotional. And in many languages, the words for breath and spirit are the same. We have prana in Sanskrit, pneuma in Greek, inspiration in English. There's a Tibetan practice called Tonglen, where we breathe in the troubles and the worries of other people and we breathe out goodness, all of the goodness in us we give away to other people. And so breathing can be this spiritual process. Like, what are you breathing in? What are you taking? What are you allowing into yourself? And what do you transform that into? What do you give back to the world? As you move through the day today, see if you can remember to keep focusing on your breathing. Maybe you have to create some discomfort or some unfamiliarity. I will wear my jewelry on a different hand or a different finger, or I'll carry my wallet in a different pocket so that I'm constantly reminded of like, why am I? Oh, that's right. I'm going to check in with my breath. I've changed something so that it indicates something is different here. I'm trying to check in with my breathing. And maybe as you're breathing in, I had a really good breath becomes I had a really good shape change. Your body changes shape, and just be aware of that, of all of these things that our breathing does, all of the ways that it changes us physically, chemically, emotionally, spiritually. And you can start to open your eyes You can recall where you're at, look around you, pat the edges of your body, say your name to yourself, and then go practice your breathing today. We will see you tomorrow morning.